A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
We welcome to the bunker a very long-time friend of ours, Al Murray, the assistant general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Your Lightning won last night, Al.
How about that?
Hockey is the toughest sport for the top team to win the championship, because we really have had high expectations for about 5 years now. We've been to one Stanley Cup final. We've been to two other Eastern Conference finals. And I think that's the expectation of everybody in the organization. And anything less than Stanley Cup will be disappointing for us this year.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
He called it. He called his shot. Al Murray.
I know.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. I don't know how this happened again. I'm all tangled and ensnared in my headphone cord again. Ever since I stopped asking you to do it.
Yeah.
That's when the problem started.
That's right. And you're surprised.
Yeah, I know, but we'll get through it. No. That was Al Murray in the intro, the head scout of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and there he called. He's Babe Ruth. We're going to win the Stanley Cup, and lo and behold, they did. Oh, you know what? It came undone.
That's not even clipped.
She's come undone. Okay. What a big day today. We're going to run the gamut. We got a lot of interesting things to get to. We got some great guests. Peter Loubardias is watching already in Calgary. Lou is ready to go. He's right on the snide, and he's watching the warm-up right now for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Your home for the NFL. Lou coming up in Block 2 today. Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning in Raleigh, North Carolina is going to be joining us to talk NFL. And Rod Black in Hour 2 when we go to Game Plus Television, live TV in all 10 provinces and 31 states. Rod Black is a must-follow on TSN. He just drops these very interesting little factoids and, so obviously Raptors are going to be the focus with Rod Black, but maybe we'll talk about a little CFL. But it's a very big show with guests today. But before we go any further, let's hit the quick 6 show topics, please. Director Jordan. Thank you. Point 1, I don't know about you, but I was into the Alabama-OSU game last night. It's interesting. The Crimson Tide knocked off the Buckeyes 52-24. I don't know how good you are at math, Darren. You're in broadcasting, so probably not real good. Do you know what 52 and 24 add up to?
1 over the over-under. I saw that. Isn't that incredible?
We said yesterday, take the over. 75 points. They scored 76. These odds makers, they just blow my mind.
And
with how on point they are with these things.
I know, and I'm going back and forth in the DMs with some of our P1s at halftime saying, you really took the under on this game, right? At halftime, It looked like it was going to be blown out, and then they slowed down a little bit as the lead got out of control. But
yeah, well, and the game itself was okay. I watched the first little bit of it. I didn't stay for it all. My God, it was over 4 hours long.
I know.
But there was touchdowns. Boom, boom, boom. It looked like a track meet. And I'm like, yep, this is typical college football from two great programs. And then by halftime, it was over. And the Crimson Tide rolled. So again, another championship for Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide. But point two, have you seen the video? I assume some of you have. There's been millions of views already. Crimson Tide fans taking to the streets in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tens of thousands of fans taking to the streets. And I probably should have said to Clark, I don't even know if Clark can find it to roll on the video of the program here today. But how does that make you feel? Because there's very interesting comments coming out about the fact that there were 14,000 in the stadium last night. How is that allowed? And then these people were packed like sardines walking through the streets of Tuscaloosa last night. And I guess my point when I ask you how you feel, and I'm going to ask you how you feel, and I'll wind it up with my own thoughts. I saw one guy put on Twitter, well, if they're not going to obey COVID controls, screw it. I'm not. What am I going to do by staying home when there's tens of thousands of people roaming the streets? So that's his take. I'd like to know yours. And what's yours when you see something?
I go back to Ed Reid, when he talked about the Ravens on the logo. 2 wrongs don't make a right. So they did it, so screw it. I'm going to do it. That doesn't fly. That doesn't work ever. So don't abide by that theory. 14,000 in the stadium, I got no problems. You can control that, ushers and whatnot, and they're doing it in the NFL, social distancing and with your group and all that kind of stuff. And that's been really great. We haven't heard that getting out of control. So I like getting people in the stadium. Yeah, I don't like everybody flooding the streets after a national championship. I know you can't control it, but it's Alabama, guys. You're going to win another one.
Well,
it's not like it's a once in a lifetime.
Their dominance is admirable, and their fans' pride is even more so admirable. They want to win, and it's not a matter of whether we're going to win. It's by how much.
Yeah.
And there's something to that. Rob Seaton writes in, he says, good morning, all. Congrats on Cam Moon moving on to the Oilers. Our good and longtime friend Cam Shaft, longtime voice of the Red Deer Rebels since 1998, named yesterday the radio voice of the Edmonton Oilers. I talked to Cam. You can imagine his thoughts. He's a Edmonton boy. Is it St. Albert or Sherwood Park? I always get St. Albert is where he's from because he's got the St. Albert strut. Everybody from St. Albert has that cocky walk in them. And Cam's one. And I had said to Clark, let's get Cam on as soon as possible to talk about the role, talk about the Oilers, and it's great to have friends in high places.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, yeah, thanks, Rob, for pointing that out. Everybody's writing in with their comments, but you know what? This is my time. This is the Quick Six, so just hang on. I'll get to your thoughts on other things in a moment. Point 3, the NHL.com power rankings are out. I was a little disappointed, but then upon further review, I realized why they only went to the top 16 teams, because I was expecting to see 1 through 31. But they don't, because it's a team-mandated website. We can't make anybody look bad. We can't hurt any feelings. So here's the top 16 teams. The rest of them can fight it out amongst themselves. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
We can't have the bottom team. On the league website, we can't have the bottom 15. Right? We're going to piss somebody off. So the top 16 are on NHL.com. I wrote down the top 5. You may or may not agree with these, but number 1, Tampa Bay. Number 2, Colorado. Number 3, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 4, the St. Louis Blues. And 5, the Philadelphia Flyers. I think there will be a lot of arguments from people around that. But so for the bottom 5, because I went and searched, I'm like, where's they cut this off at 16? So I went to some blog, just Googled worst NHL team 2021. And what came up was some like getting pucks deep blog or something like that. So here's their last 5, beginning with the Ruby Rottenest, 31 and then 30, 29, 28, 27, okay?
Yeah.
The Detroit Red Wings are supposed to just stank Detroit. And then, this hurt me a little bit. The Anaheim Ducks, 30th.
Ooh.
LA Kings, 29th. I would have thought that by now the Southern California would have figured this out, but the rankings say no. So they got to go do their talking on the ice. And then the 4th worst teams, the Ottawa Senators, and then the Chicago Blackhawks. And I saw the head coach of the Sens, DJ, on SportsCenter. He's very optimistic, and I realized, wait, nobody's lost yet. That's why everybody's optimistic.
Everybody's optimistic. We're all undefeated.
Yeah, it's not like, and I'll say this again, Todd McClellan, who just seems to be a magnet for crappy hockey teams, when he was at the podium for the Edmonton Oilers, it was just seemed like he'd been up all night, just stressed. You know what I mean?
Chain smoking.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's Todd McClellan, and now he's got the LA Kings, and it might be the same thing. But I might add, when the season was called last year, Todd had the Kings on a 7-game win streak. Nobody remembers that.
Right. I would print that off, and that would be on my owner's desk or the president of the hockey team's desk. Your expectations are so low. So it's like, this is where they predicted, and we finished 2 spots better than that.
Yep.
So when you miss the playoffs, make sure you have this ready to go.
So the NHL begins tomorrow night. I wanted to get the top 5 in, and Clark said, hey, that might be a decent feature moving forward, the top 5 and the bottom 5 in the NHL. We'll go one day at a time, but I like it too.
Yeah.
Point 4, the Philadelphia Eagles fired Doug Peterson. We've got a lot of Eagles fans that watch this show. This show's on cable television in Philadelphia, so we got that Philly thing happening here. So I've been following the Eagles, and it was Todd Pinkney that texted me right after the show. He said, Doug Peterson fired. And I'm like, what? What a clown show. And let's just remember, you never really know what's going on inside an organization. We're all only going by the media coverage. But it looked like it hurt the owner of the Eagles, Jeffrey Loria, to fire Doug Peterson 3 years after winning a Super Bowl. But this is a case of, I don't think this is fake news, it was either the quarterback or the coach.
Been there.
No, we've seen it. It's a tale as old as time. Quarterback or coach, and who usually wins? The player. Quite often, the player.
Not in my time. It was Jeff Fisher or Vince Young in Tennessee.
How'd that work out for both?
Bud Adams sided with Jeff Fisher because he had been there forever, and there was the relationship. It didn't work out. Didn't work out for the Titans. Didn't work out for Vince Young. That was a mistake. It's Carson Wentz, and he's going to stay. But if he leaves, if they got rid of him, it would be the biggest dead cap hit, $50 million, in the history of the NFL. They got Alshon Jeffrey at $18 million. They got some problems. I was talking to one of my Eagle friends this morning, and they got a lot of rebuilding to do. But it sounds like it's going to be with Carson Wentz.
Fastest 20 minutes in sports, the warm-up here for the Four Seasons. We're covering it all. Jeff, the Stamps fan in Calgary, writes in, Kings, Blackhawks, Eagles, how the mighty have fallen. Throw the Patriots in there. I mean, any of these teams that stay on top for so long, you really wonder how they're doing it, but nobody stays on top forever. And we're not really going to get into Bill Belichick turning down the, the Medal of Freedom Medal from President Donald Trump. Those two deserve each other. The whole thing just stinks.
Yeah.
And that's why we have made it our mandate to stay out of politics here. I see the comments are going off like a slot machine, so that's good. Point 5, Raptors lose in Portland last night, 112-111. They're now 2-8, and I'm starting to think they're not making the playoffs.
I know.
They're not making the playoffs. But Rod Black will join us in hour 2 to talk about all of that. You know that he's going to be captain positive.
That's the one thing. If you do think, and I was talking to the guys from our friends that come on, if you do think that the Raptors are better than their record, go buy them now. Because you're going to get them at a pretty good value. Mm-hmm. Buy them as a playoff team. Buy them as a conference champion. Because you won't have to spend a lot of money on them because everybody's writing them off.
I want to mention, you all know that we have been broadcasting on Facebook Live since day one, 398 episodes ago. But we're on YouTube Live over the past, 3 weeks? YouTube Live right now. Download the app or go to the website. It's pretty slick. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just discovered it on my smartphone the other day, or smart TV. It's, I love it. Point 6, some CFL notes. 1, Willie Jefferson has restructured his deal with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's very interesting how the CFL has reframed everything. In the 90s, for those of you old enough to remember, it was pay cuts. The front news of the Leader Post or the Winnipeg Free Press was team player A agrees to a pay cut. Now they're calling it a restructuring, but it's the same thing. It's a crisis situation for the Canadian Football League, just like we saw them in 25 years ago. Language is a big thing. We talk about that in the recovery business all the time. Language is very important in shaping just where your mind goes with things. It makes CFL fans think, well, things aren't that bad. They've just restructured the deal, and they're going to play. And I was going a little deeper on this morning, brushing my teeth, and I'm like, there's a lot of pressure on the CFL to play, and I'm not sure they're entirely aware of it. If they are or aren't, they're not saying. They're not doing any interviews. But you look at the NHL selling, like you got Bettman there yesterday, answering all the questions, right? Why are you playing? Well, we think we should play because we owe it to the public to play, but we'd save less money if we didn't play. And in my mind, I immediately thought, that's why the CFL's not playing. Right? It'd be cheaper not to play. With regards to the helmet decals, sponsor ads, the sponsorship of the divisions, they're doing this to pay the players in the NHL. They're finding a way. They're being creative. This is what I've been saying for months. If the CFL really wanted to play, they'd be creative. They'd find sponsorship of the divisions, put the more ads on the jerseys and ads on the helmets. But we don't know what they're doing. So my point is, because I'm talking to the coaches all the time. I told you about some of the texts I got yesterday from CFL coaches. The coaches know what they're doing. The football guys have always known what they're doing. It's the business guys and girls in the CFL that people are, I wouldn't say they've lost faith in, but each passing day that goes by that we don't hear some sort of concrete announcement as to how they're going to play without fans, the light just goes off one by one in people. Right? Because you're seeing other leagues get creative to play. Fair?
Absolutely. When you don't get when you're not getting that text message or you're not getting that phone call, right? Or you're not getting that DM, you start to forget about people, right? They're not interested.
Yeah.
But moving on, right? To the people who are giving me attention, which is the other leagues. And it's funny you talk about, restructuring. I mean, that is marketing 101, right? Pay cut, restructuring, whatever the flavor of the day is. I mean, we see that in marketing all the time. It's fat-free, sugar-free. Now it's gluten-free. There was never gluten in maple syrup, ever. But now they got it on the logo because it's the flavor of the day. It's the same thing.
Twizzler packages at the movies. No nuts.
Yeah.
Well, no kidding.
Peanut-free. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously. So,
But
they
restructuring.
didn't take pay cuts. Yeah. It's compensation adjustments. Oh, thank God. That feels so much better to my bank account. So anyways, major pressure to the CFL to play. And Kelly Bale, one of our viewers, CFL fan engagement is essentially a 1 out of 10 for the last 10 months. I know, and that's like late last week. I'm thinking of putting together my 10 things column, and I'm like, I could start calling agents and sending texts and my guys with the team. I just don't. Pilot light's going out in me, because there's so much other interesting things going on, which I got to move on here. But NFL, the Natty, the college football.
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian playing last night.
He was dialed in.
Yeah. Evander Kane, it's been released. He came out yesterday from The Athletic, $26 to $28 million in debt, and he's filed for bankruptcy. Like you or Clark said, you got to talk about that in this.
Yeah, me.
What? You can't fix stupid. Like and in my mind, I'm thinking, where's his parents? In my mind, I'm thinking, where's his agent? And then I thought, you know what? He's a grown-ass man. He's made millions. You can't point the finger in this situation. What is there to say?
I know.
Colossal stupidity.
Now you know why he's trying to fight Jake Paul. right? And trying to get on Twitter. That one big payday to get out from underneath. I wonder, and I get scared for the guy. If you owe $2.5 million to a Las Vegas bookie or a casino, you'd be worried, right? You can't skate with no toes. And then I start thinking about, what does the teammates and what does the organizations think that he's played with, when he's standing on the rooftop with stacks of cash like this, right? And
do it with fake money.
They
got all kinds of fake money in billions.
Did he just drop it off the roof?
Yeah.
It's hard, but you feel for a guy, but they don't know how to deal with all of a sudden you're flush more than you could ever imagine.
We're running out of time. We'll get to the poll question. What's your game of the week in the NFL divisional playoffs this weekend? Is it Rams, Packers, Ravens, Bills, Browns, Chiefs, or Bucks, Saints? For me, it's Bucks, Saints for Tom Brady and Tampa. What's one answer? What is it?
Bills.
The Bills game. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
For Capital Automall Universal Collision Center. This has been the warm-up for Four Seasons Sports Palace. Peter Labardius in next. And then the Snowman, Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning in North Carolina. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV and now daily on YouTube Live. And listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150, Explorer, or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Welcome back, everybody. And I got to say, Lou's been waiting for a while, and I'm going to bring in his participation here, but yes! What did I say? We haven't had texts from our American viewers for some time. I'm like, Where are they? You know we're on the air down there. Dave in Biloxi Beach, Mississippi has texted in from the 228.
Hey.
And he wants to know, what are your thoughts on the Nashville Preds? Why the continual underachievement? He's watching on Game Plus TV down there in Biloxi Beach, Mississippi, where I wish I was right now. And maybe we'll open with that with Peter Labardius, the longtime Calgary Flames color commentator. And Lou, by the way, Happy New Year. Don't believe we've...
same to you.
Yeah, talked about that. But here's my thing with the Preds. It didn't seem that long ago that they were in a conference final against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Maybe it was longer than their fans would like. I think they're going to be in the thick of it. They were in a play-in round series against Arizona last year. They're not that bad. Perennial underachievers, are they, Nashville?
No, Rod, I don't think they are. However, it has been a significant drop-off since that appearance in the Stanley Cup final, which in some ways seems like yesterday, and in other ways seems like 100 years ago. The bottom line is the competition level in the league is enormous. And in Nashville, they have really prided themselves on a fabulous defense, great goaltending. Pekka Rinne is certainly nearing the end, if not at the end. They're trying to pave the way for UC Saros, and he looks like he's on the way, but still unproven as far as that level is concerned. And the fact of the matter is, they made a significant deal when they went out and acquired Ryan Johansson and moved Seth Jones to Columbus. And outside of the first playoff, and I'm not putting it all on one guy. I love Ryan. In fact, we have a great relationship. He's one of the guys in the league that I look forward to seeing every time, he has come to Calgary in the past. But at a certain point in time, you build your group, you try your best, and the framework of the league and the cap, you can't keep guys together now forever. And on the fly, you kind of have to retool a little bit and decide at the end of the day, here's my line, guys. If you are going to marry someone long-term, more often than not, you need to get it right. And when you don't, now there's going to be retooling and rebuilding and restructuring.
Lou, are we talking real life or hockey here?
Both.
That's what I thought. You and I have experience. We've got experience in that realm. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the question from the guy in Biloxi Beach, Mississippi, and I'm sure you do. Yeah, you do too. But I could see how a Predators fan would be getting a little antsy because it just doesn't seem that they're trending right. But anyways, Lou, so you and I talk about over the years about how fans they're antsy, right? And they got to pay a lot for tickets, they got to pay a lot for merchandise. They want a winner. Well, it would appear in Calgary you do. I'm clinging to the fact that I got the Flames #1 in the Scotia Division, the North Division. Are they the best in Canada? What do you think?
I'm not sure they're the best in Canada, Rod. The one thing that I would say to you is I'm not a big prediction maker. I never will be. I don't want to be. It only puts you in a bad spot. However, I will contend that in all the time I've been around Calgary, whether it was as a play-by-play guy on TV or now, in year whatever the heck this is, doing color on the radio, it's the deepest group that I have seen from top to bottom. They've had a restructuring. I think the move with Lindholm and a pairing with Matthew Tkachuk has really changed their whole forward group. Add to the mix Josh Levo, Dominic Simone, Joachim Nordstrom, the emerging types of Dylan Dubé and Andrew Mangiapane. This now, to me, with a pretty solid back end, is a pretty good team. A pretty good team. Are they the best in the Canadian or Scotia North Division? I don't know. I will say that it will be incredibly disappointing if they don't find their way into the Final Four and make the playoffs. But I also see it as a division that is incredibly competitive. And I don't see a lot of difference between a number of teams. Guys, I'd probably say, talent-wise, and talent doesn't always win. We know that. The Toronto Maple Leafs might have an edge in that category, but every team, even the best teams, everybody in the division, guys, I think has some holes. So we'll see where it goes.
People are feeling fun and punchy today. I like it. Jamie Neugebauer is written in, the voice of the Notre Dame Hounds, and he wants to know if you think, Lou, the Tkachuk brothers will kill each other this year, Matthew and Brady. What do you know about their relationship? They're going to be playing each other more than ever. What's that rivalry going to be like on the ice?
Here's what I will tell you. Walt, who is Keith, the dad, probably would be okay with that. Mom, who's the Canadian glue of the family, as I like to call her, and just a a beautiful human. I don't think she's all that fond of those two. Now, by their nature, I don't think that they can probably help themselves. But, even in their brief meetings in the National Hockey League, there certainly hasn't been anything yet. I think there's a bit of a family code, but on the other hand, we know what competition is, and those guys are incredibly competitive. So when you play somebody 9 times and you're going to be on the ice against one another a lot, I do know this. Older brother will truly want to show that he's still a little better than younger brother. So that it may not be in the fisticuff department, but there's a lot of competition there for sure.
It's interesting, Lou. It's so much fun to be sitting here talking about these things compared to what we've been through as a society in the last 10 months, and I know you agree. And I want to hear from our American viewers, and it's interesting that they're texting us on the Prairie Mobile text line because they're watching on cable television in the States. And here in the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL, I call it, we're right, as you know, in the trapezoid of Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton. We're deluged by coverage of those teams, and then by extension, the other 4 Canadian teams. We don't hear a lot about the American teams, but I will say this: Colorado is everybody's favorite.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you get tingles when you think about Avalanche Flames games?
I'm hoping to see some. However, I think we know what has to happen. That would have to happen in,
Playoffs?
a semifinal, a conference final type scenario before they're going to play a single game. The Colorado Avalanche have been built brilliantly. We see more great potential people on the road from the World Junior, Bowen Byram. Think about this. Think about a potential pairing for a long time of right-handed shooting Cale Makar and left-handed shooting Bowen Byram, and all the assets that they have with the Avalanche. Now they've added Brandon Saad, McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, Kadri, Donskoy, go on down the line, Samuel Girard, Alex Newhook on the way, and others. Now, if they had, a true number 1 type goalie, and they probably don't even need that guy. They need a consummate guy who's going to go out and make sure that he doesn't cost them games. That is a powerhouse in the making. And if they can manage all the math when all these young kids need to get paid, they have a chance to be like dynamite for a long time.
Well, you remember back in the day, I mean, Lou, you and I have walked the same path. Like all those, every NHL team's got scouts in this province, and I'm sure they do in Calgary. And, I got those scouts saying to me all the time, how come you don't talk about the American teams? It's always the Canadian teams. Thank God for the internet now. And right? Think back in the 80s and 90s. All they had to rely on the Leader Post and the hockey news. That's all they got for coverage of their teams, right? Now, but
you know what you used to have to do?
Huh?
You used to have to learn about hockey by doing something interesting.
Watch the game.
Watching it. Watch the games. What a concept. You can learn a lot by watching.
Yeah, of course. But you know who these scouts are. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to out them on national television, but they're just like, talk about the American teams more. Because you look at
listen.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that watch the games. And Roddy, how lucky have people like you and I been? I've been saying this for a long time. Some of the most beautiful guys in hockey scout in Saskatchewan. Ross Mahoney, Al Murray, all the incredible people.
Bruce Franklin, can't forget Bruce Franklin.
Bruce Franklin, right at the top of the list. So, listen, I've been saying this for a long time. We have all achieved at some pretty decent hockey knowledge, and here's why. Because if you've cared to form some relationships, and if you've cherished the opportunity to learn from those types of people and all the different hockey people, that to me is what gets missed now. And I'm not pointing fingers, but to this day, every time I go to the rink and find myself in a conversation, you add some nuggets. If you care to see the value in that.
People, face to face, Lou. That's what hurts because, with the projections that I see, and I was talking with my wife about it last night, we're probably only around halfway through this thing. And it seems
I agree with you.
Yeah, and it seems like it's lasted 10 years, and we're only halfway through it. It's unbelievable. Before we do let you go, Lou, what is your take on the dub? Because Dregs dropped some interesting nuggets here yesterday. He liked the way the WHL did it. They announced a 24-game season, but that's it. Boy, has it set people off with speculation and questions.
Rod, here's what I'm not going to do. And we know, listen, I'm wearing a Western Hockey League, I'll call it bunny hug because we're doing a Saskatchewan in-part show. It's a hoodie for everybody else in the world, and that's fine. I am not going to criticize anyone for trying their best to salvage what has been an incredibly difficult and trying time. So the minute you are so quick to criticize on what it should be or what it shouldn't be, take these lenses off and think about operating from the lens of the Western Hockey League, what that league and the CHL has been through, whether it's lawsuits, the pandemic, the changing of their business. Let's have a little patience. And let's applaud people once and for all for trying to do the best with circumstances that change every 5 minutes. I applaud them. I hope for the kids. I hope for all the people I love and care about in that league that they can find their way to 24 games and make something out of it.
Well said, Lou. You always say it so well. And I've been telling the folks, just chill. They are literally doing their best, right? But
in this day and age, you want people to chill? We want perfect.
I know, but sometimes they will chill when you tell them for a little while, and then they go back to being over the top crazy. You get it. But Lou, thanks for the time.
Put on somebody else's shoes, grab their glasses, and look through them through different lenses once in a while, and it's hard for everybody to do, including me, but just give it some thought. Okay, guys.
But there's zero empathy out there, unfortunately, right now, and it's hard to have people do that. Can you put up the comment from Greg Buchanan and Lloydminster watching Canada's only border city? He said something along the lines of, oh, he's the best, Bucky. Great to hear Peter on the upcoming season. His insight is so solid, even like his Stampede Wrestling insight. LOL. So on that note...
That's right, Greg. I want to thank you very kindly for tuning in. And if Remps is out there and Bobby Leonard, I still can't find my ring.
I'd like to say, let the good times roll, Lou. Let's do it again.
We will.
All right.
Okay.
Be well.
Take care, guys. Well.
Peter Labardi is joining us from Calgary, Fan 960, Flames radio color man. I think what we're going to do is take a timeout, and when we come back, we got a sports update, and then we'll be joined by the Snowman in the Morning, Brian Snow from North Carolina, with a little NFL talk. And our American friends, keep it coming on the Prairie Mobile text line, please. Biloxi Beach, Mississippi. We're on the air, dupes. We should plan a sports trip down there.
What are the sites? I got to start doing some research.
The beach. What more do you need?
Yeah.
You're a beach guy.
Love the beach.
We'll be right back. We are live daily on YouTube, Game Plus TV, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You need to adapt and you need to move forward. You can't be stuck in 1920. Direct West is on the top of their game. They know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when you work with Direct West, things are good. There's no going backwards, they're moving forward. My business would not be where it is today without the help of Direct West to help me with my website and my Facebook and all my online presence. I've worked with Direct West for about 10 years, and it's been a great experience.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Updating and improving your air conditioning system does not need to be difficult. You can breathe easy with our 100% satisfaction guarantee, flexible financing options, and maintenance programs. We will be with you throughout the process from start to finish. Contact us today so we can help you breathe a little easier. 306-781-2090.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Just ahead of the snowman, I just want to say, I was telling the boys in the break here that for our American viewers, and not just the Americans, if you're watching on Game Plus TV, send us a text message, 306-840-8777. We want to hear from you all. Let's get a little noise in here.
Let's go.
Sports update, the Raptors suffered their second straight one-point loss, falling on the road against the Portland Trailblazers 112-111 after C.J. McCollum hit a go-ahead jumper with 9.9 seconds to play in the game. Raptors fell against Golden State by a single point one night earlier. With a performance that was both surgical and explosive, number 1 Alabama won the college football playoff national championship game 52-24 against number 3 Ohio State. Tens of thousands took to the streets of Tuscaloosa, Alabama to celebrate the Tide's championship. They went undefeated at 13-0 to become national champion for the 6th time in the last 12 years under Nick Saban. The Vancouver Canucks were back on the ice Monday, the day after a false positive COVID-19 test shut down training camp. The team said in a release Sunday it canceled practice out of an abundance of caution due to potential exposure to COVID-19. And when I go back to the Quick Six show topics, what did I say earlier? It was, what did the video, if you saw it, of the tens of thousands of people roaming the streets of Tuscaloosa make you feel? Because it kind of makes me feel, why the hell are we shutting down all these facilities? Why are we having such a problem in sports when tens of thousands of people are roaming the streets with apparently no disastrous consequences? Why are we going through all this? That's all. That's what it makes me think. I'm not saying I'm right. It's what pops into my head. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. They can handle all your food and fun needs. Visit their website at ballersrecroom.com. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Our Charlotte NFL correspondent is the Snowman, Brian Snow, joins us today. Snowman in the morning, where it is still morning for some time out there, a few minutes anyways. How you doing, Snowman? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I am doing great, and I'm back, and I love being on the show. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you back, and you always got the hot takes. So I'm seeing some interesting hot takes coming out of the Natty last night, and that is, you know, the Crimson Tide rolled 52-24, and now people are saying that it's time to break up Alabama. They got too much of a monopoly on college football. Here's my question to you, Snowman. How did they create such a monopoly in 12 years under Nick Saban? And 2, should it be broken up? Is it unfair, their dominance?
Let's see. Recruiting, scouting your opponents, knowing what you need to do. Remember, Ohio State beat them in 2015, so there's a revenge factor also. And, oh, yeah, there's this guy called Nick Saban who knows what the hell he's doing. Break up Alabama? No. Beat Alabama? Yes. That can happen. It has happened. You want to end it's like Golden State. You want to end the dynasty? Here's a novel concept. Beat them.
Nice point. See, he's bringing the fire today. At 68-ish years old, the one thing Nick Saban hasn't done is have NFL success. Is that window closed?
He doesn't need it.
Well, I was going to say, do you think he lays awake at night thinking, dagnabbit, I never won in the NFL, or does he care?
Hell no, he doesn't care. He's got his dynasty. He's got Alabama. He's got people dancing in the streets in Tuscaloosa. And he's got everyone in Alabama spoiled because of this success. And I say, good. Keep it going. You got your success, Nick Saban. Stay where you're at.
I like it. I like it. Are we writing these down?
Yeah.
All the hot takes. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Your take on Doug Peterson being let go, Brian? Seems like a real clown show there in Philly.
That would be a horrible understatement. After Philadelphia won the Super Bowl, they've done nothing like you described what the Patriots have done this year, fall off of a cliff. They've had a couple of division titles when they shouldn't have won, including last year. Peterson needed to go, and Peterson didn't manage the Carson Wentz situation well at all.
It's interesting that you say that he needed to go, because you got a coach that did win their first Super Bowl in franchise history with what looks like an overrated quarterback. I mean, is Peterson gone because of the bad contract given to the quarterback? How do you blame the coach for that?
Well, you got to blame the organization for the bad contract to a quarterback that's now severely overrated. Unfortunately, Peterson, in a way, because of Carson Wentz, is made out to be a scapegoat. But at the same time, if it's the same kind of non-success over and over and over again, eventually they're going to look at Peterson.
I want to just chime in with some viewer comments. Snowman, you know how much we love that. Guys, can you put it up from John Heaps? I agree, Rod. Thousands at Costco daily with masks. Why no WHL with 50% fans with masks? Same with riders. I haven't heard of any serious issues at Costco. Just as an example. Yeah, I don't get why they're punishing sports. Costco's open because you need food. Well, we need entertainment too. And I've kind of bit my lip. I've been threatened and warned, by the way, for going a little too far down this road. But I just see the people storming the streets of Tuscaloosa last night. Not in a riot away. They were partying. You know?
Yeah,
Snowman, what?
It's a celebration.
It was a celebration, but I'm just saying if they can do it, why is this allowed to wreak havoc on pro and amateur sport? I don't know. I don't understand. What's the COVID climate where you're living, man, in terms of lockdowns, restrictions, and mood of people?
I have a game Friday night to do play-by-play for. I am so elated to do that, because I haven't called a game since September. Or top of October. My wife came with me. So they're slowly easing their way up. But the trick is this year, as I found out during my research, they have to have the kids wear the masks. You know, they're taking all kinds of safety precautions, which I totally understand. But at the same time, sports is happening, period.
Yeah, good. Well, that's what I hear, that they're rolling. In most states, you wouldn't even know that COVID was a thing. Whereas here in Canada,
right,
there's no sports, you know, and it's people are getting tired of it. In real time with Costa Marigus watching, they say, "Good morning, friends. Great show so far. Loving the fire." I read that, and that means like they're expecting it to go downhill from here. Great show so far. As Darren said to me this morning, I may take things a little too defensively from time to time. To this weekend's NFL games, Snowman, our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, which is your featured game? They are, as you know, Rams, Packers, Ravens, Bills, Browns, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Saints. What's the game that you're most interested in?
Browns and Chiefs. A couple of young guns going at it. Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in New Orleans. It's Brady Breeze Part 3, and everybody's saying, oh, good Lord, the Buccaneers are actually going to compete. No, they're not. I've said it at the top of the year. I said it on this program, and the Buccaneers have still yet to solve one of the most noble concepts of football. And Dupes, you know this very well with Tennessee. Where the hell is the Buccaneers running game? Consistent running game. And what's going to happen this Sunday in New Orleans is what's going to happen. It's what happened in week 1. They're going to get punched in the mouth hard.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
That's Tom Brady you're talking about.
Leonard Fournette, Rojo. You want to put a lunch on this? You want to put some smack there? You're putting your balls on the table here, Snowman.
Just a moment. There's 1 set. There's 2 set. And there's my snack. You're on.
You're on. I like it. Robin in Prince Albert says Canada-U.S. border closed until February 21st. Is that breaking news today, or did we know that? I'm just assuming that it's closed forever until this is declared over. Darnell Theris from Rockstar Supply Chains. He says, things are a mess in Detroit. Things are a mess in Philly. I'm okay not being able to watch sports in person. LOL. That's a good point. And by the way, you had your time, Darnell. Yes or no before we let you go, Snowman. John Schmeiser in Kansas City is watching. Question for the Snowman. Should Andy Reid be getting some consideration for Coach of the Year? He is rarely mentioned in the conversation.
Yes. How can you not get consideration for Coach of the Year when you have a team that's the defending world champions in the Kansas City Chiefs? You navigate through a pandemic. People want to take Patrick Mahomes off of the MVP table and say, oh, he didn't do much. Oh, really? He won 14 games. I'd say that's doing something.
Yeah, well, the one thing about the NFL, save for maybe Philly, they're all great coaches. Every one of them. They wouldn't have got there if they weren't great coaches. And from a sentimental aspect, for me, it might be Riverboat Ron Rivera. Snowman, we'll let you go. The fans love you as always. We're going to turn it over to Viewer Takeover next. But stay safe down there, my friend. Let's do it again soon here. Before Super Bowl, hopefully.
Very, very soon. Thank you, guys. I love you guys very, very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, same here. Love you too, pal. Follow this guy, Snowman in the Morning. Look him up on social media. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show daily on YouTube Live, Game Plus TV, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
All right, welcome back, everybody, into the viewer takeover segment. They've stolen my monitor here, so I'm not totally sure what time you guys need me out, but you'll let me know. You'll let me know. Metal Shingle Guy writes in to kick off the viewer takeover segment. He says, can the Chiefs stop the run? Well, we're going to find out in a very big game on the weekend against the Cleveland Browns. I got, bonus points here, Dupes. One of the bonus points was Chase Claypool saying the Browns will get clapped this weekend. Did you see that? Now everybody's all mad about that. They're saying this guy's a punk.
He's confident. Apparently that's not okay.
Chase Claypool? He's sour grapes.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Well, a little bit. But that's the Steelers, the whole team, right? I mean, Juju dancing. There was a play when they were down, 4 touchdowns, and Juju's dancing as he's walking up to the line. I saw that. I'm like, what are you doing?
I know a lot of guys like that. Chris Bird watching in Toronto. He says, I'm very happy that the NHL is starting up and looking forward to what the Leafs can do. Hopefully all hockey fans will show some love for the NWHL as they start their bubble on January 23rd. Playoffs to be broadcast on NBC Sports. See, now everybody's writing in like crazy, and I appreciate that. We're going to have to carry over some of those comments into hour 2 because Alan Hordell was watching, and he threw a comment out about Gary Bettman saying how the owners in the NHL are going to lose more money by playing than not playing. There it is. I want hockey and football in Canada, but NHL Commish said they will lose millions. Can they afford that? CFL sure can't in their league. I kind of just want to turn this over to you because you're more the business guy than me. Then if we're dancing this dance with the CFL announcing all these player restructuring contracts and so forth, it's not that. Go ahead. Thank you. Da-da-da. Stage left, The Rock. What are they playing or not? What are we dancing this dance for?
I know.
Like, if we really believe that this isn't going to be over, we're only halfway through the pandemic, then come out and say we're not playing then. Come out and say it.
Well, they have to have a plan to play with no fans. Otherwise, you're just waiting for a vaccine. You know how to operate a season. You know how to play. It's just a matter of,
do they?
You need a vaccine. Well, they've done it for years and years. If they're only
as normal,
right? If that's the only option is to get a vaccine and play as normal with fans in the stands, then sit back and wait. Go to the spa, hang out, right?
Grab a Snickers bar.
Yeah, we don't need to pay you to be in these positions running teams and leagues if that's the only play. But tell us what the plan is to play with no fans. We hope there's a vaccine. But here's what we can do. Or come out and say, look, we're not the NFL. If we will lose too much money and we can't afford it, so please stay with us. I think we'd feel sympathetic.
Would we?
I think so. Honesty is the key.
Boy, do we have a lot of things to come into hot in hour 2.
Yeah.
Which will be hour 1 on Game Plus. So thank you to Brian Snow and Peter Labardius. We had fire in hour 1. Rod Black coming up in hour 2. Join us on YouTube Live, Facebook, all the rest. Or come on over to National TV and we'll see you on Game Plus. No laughing on the sponsors, Coach. This is the media. We're not supposed to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com. Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Do it right now.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Now,
we welcome to the bunker a very long-time friend of ours, Al Murray, the assistant general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Your Lightning won last night, Al.
How about that?
Hockey is the toughest sport for the top team to win the championship. Because we really have had high expectations for about 5 years now. We've been to one Stanley Cup final. We've been to two other Eastern Conference finals. And I think that's the expectation of everybody in the organization. And anything less than Stanley Cup will be disappointing for us this year.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Wow, that's Al Murray, the head scout of the Tampa Bay Lightning, dropping bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Before the start of last year's Stanley Cup playoffs, they went on to win it. That's the guy in the intro. Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show for this Tuesday, January 12th. It is episode number 398 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. Rod here, Darren Moose DuPont there, and we're coming in hot. We've already had an hour on the air on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and various platforms, and now we go to Game Plus TV. But we've found some hot button topics amongst our viewers, and not really meaning to.
Right.
But hang on, you're going to see why. I just want to tell you, coming up here in this hour of the program, Rod Black from TSN, the peerless, the ageless, the great Rod Black from TSN joining us. But let's jump right into the Quick Six show topics, please. Director Jordan, because it's going to take a while here in the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. You're home for the National Football League. Last night, in a game that took, I believe, over 4 hours to play, the College Football Playoff National Championship, the Alabama Crimson Tide knocked off the Ohio State Buckeyes 52-24 in Miami. I really got to give my wife a lot of credit. She knew I wanted to watch because of my good friend Steve Sarkisian coaching with the Crimson Tide. She literally rolled over because we watched it in our bed, and she said, "Is it almost over?" I said, "There's 5 minutes left in the first half." Like,
I know.
And what people forget is it's a championship game, like a Super Bowl, like a Grey Cup. Those 60-second commercial breaks become 2-minute commercial breaks. The halftime show is extended. That's what makes it a 4+ hour game.
Yeah.
It was just a little long. Nobody ever thought Alabama wasn't going to win it. It was, other than you, but it was by how much?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just poking fun at you.
Course.
You can smile when I do that. But very interestingly, we told people to take the over. The over-under was set at 75 points. And if you add up the total, 76 were scored. You're welcome. But to point two, this is what's got people fired up. And I should have known. People in Canada are fired up over this. I'd like to know from our American viewers what you think. Clark says he does have the video from the streets of Tuscaloosa, Alabama last night. Tens of thousands of Crimson Tide fans. My mind, probably because of my affliction of ADD, rattled off about 5 things. But off the top of it was good for them. 2, good for them. 3, man, I wish I was there. 4, why can they do that and we can't do that here in Canada? And what really triggered my mind is I went into the mentions on Twitter and one guy said, I'm not staying home anymore. If they can do that, what am I home torturing myself for? That's just a random dude. I'm not telling anybody not to follow the rules. I've followed the rules through all of this, and I've stayed COVID-free. Those rules, I guess, work. Or at least they have for me.
Yeah.
But for the sporting people in Canada who have been unable to play in pretty much all sports, unless you're a multi-billionaire league like the NHL. Every other league's been shut down in this country or forced into America, like the Blue Jays and the Raptors. You just saw the video. What is up? How come they can gather and we can't? And you often see after these rallies in America, depending on what side of the political spectrum you're on, whether it be the Sturgis motorcycle rally or a Black Lives Matter rally or a Capitol Hill riot rally, I don't see this massive spike in cases in the news from all of these rallies. So my question is very simply, what popped into my mind was, what do you think when you see that? Those are mine. You?
Yeah, I mean, we don't see the spike related to these rallies in the news, that's for sure. You know, maybe we do see the spike in cases. I would imagine that we're going to see a spike in cases somewhere, but they're not going to relate it back to this because they're all going to go their separate ways to all different communities and break away. You know, we talked about 14,000 people in the building. I don't have a problem with that. This kind of is a little bit, you know, a little uneasy. And for the guys who kind of say they can do that, so forget about it, I'm going to go do what I want. If they can do it, I can do it. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But, hey, when you're in that moment, you're celebrating a championship, I get it. You forget. You don't think about those things. You just want to celebrate. So I don't blame them. But at the same time, this isn't once in a lifetime for Alabama. You're going to win again. You've won before. Like, you could watch that one on TV.
I'm not even making any judgments. Joe Lazito is watching on Long Island right now. He says, I'm not fired up at all, Rod. Every individual has to weigh the risk for themselves. Yeah, but you're in America where you've got the right to make those decisions for yourself. The point is, here in Canada, you're not allowed to make the decisions for yourself. And all the people in sports, the thousands of people affected by sports in Canada, are forced to stay on the sidelines, the decisions being made for them. And they want the choice in Canada, but they're not getting it. I need to move on. Point 3, NHL.com sending out their power rankings. Came into my inbox this morning, and I scribbled down the top 5, and then I went to the bottom of the column looking for the bottom 5 teams in the NHL and realized, oh, wait, it's a league-subsidized website, so they're not going to make anybody look bad. So it was the top 16 teams, that's all. I wrote down the top 5 from NHL.com from their writers, a poll. Number 1, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 3, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 4, the St. Louis Blues. And number 5, the Philadelphia Flyers. No Canadian teams in there. I had to Google worst NHL team in 2021 to find the bottom 5. Some blog popped up, and these are the worst. From worst to not so worst. Okay, Detroit. ranked the worst team.
Wow.
It's the 80s all over again, y'all. Detroit, the worst. Then Anaheim, and then LA. I thought they would have had their act together by now, but maybe not. But they're going to eat each other.
Death Valley?
Death Valley. And throw San Jose in there,
Used
too. Used to be. Throw San Jose in there that you go through California. Know you're going to lose in the NHL. It was just by how much when you played the Kings, the Ducks, and the Sharks. And they all missed the playoffs last year. So anyways, Detroit, Anaheim, LA, Ottawa, and then the fifth worst team, the Chicago Blackhawks. You look at some of those, what you would think iconic franchises from the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Times they are a-changing. Point 4, the Philadelphia Eagles firing head coach Doug Peterson. I'm going to tell you, I was shocked. But we have to remember, you don't really know what's going on in an organization. You don't. And as a matter of fact, most organizations go to great pains to paint everything real nice when you know they're a dumpster fire underneath the surface. The Eagles, most of their problems played out on the field in front of us all, right? But they won a Super Bowl just 3 years ago, their first ever. There was literally a statue of Doug Peterson out front of the link, and they fired him yesterday. Less than 3 calendar years after winning a Super Bowl, and it just appears like it was quarterback versus player. Have I read that wrong, Darren? That's what it seemed. Carson Wentz won.
Yeah, really. At the end of the day, and I dealt with that in Tennessee with Bud Adams as the owner. It was Jeff Fisher or Vince Young. It was one or the other. And Bud Adams, he sided with Jeff Fisher, and Vince Young left, and nobody had success. Neither Vince didn't have success, the Titans didn't have success. It was done. Same thing here. It came down to Doug Peterson and the ownership didn't agree on where to go, right? Where to go with Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz and the future of the organization, and buying into a rebuild or continuing to try and win division titles and compete now. And it's rebuild time in Philadelphia. And so he's out. Carson Wentz stays. And away we go.
I didn't expect it to end like that.
I know.
And now, by the way, that's 7 coach firings in the NFL, 7 openings. If you do the math, that's almost 1 in 4 teams is firing their coach. And I'll say to all you coaches out there watching, because you tell me every day you do, why do you want to coach? Why would you want to coach? I don't get it.
Coach, because that's what they are.
That's what they do. I get it, but holy smokes, to have your fate in the hands of 40 to 50 young men, no thanks. Point 4, Raptors lost again, and I'm starting to think that they're not going to be in the playoffs. How could they be? They're 2-8, and they lost in Portland last night, 112, 111. Talk to me about 1-point losses. Oh, they lost in Golden State the night before by 1 point. Could have been 20 points. They still lost. And what do we say? Ugly babies grow up to be ugly adults. Beautiful babies grow up to be beautiful adults. The Raptors are an ugly baby this year.
It's the way it looks.
Almost
right?
Without fail, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Write it down.
It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare that
you overcome a start.
You overcome a start like that. It really is.
Some CFL notes, point 6, out of Winnipeg, Willie Jefferson. It was announced with the football club, with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, agreeing to a restructured deal. It's interesting how the CFL is using language in these news releases. For any of those of you that were around in the 90s, you remember it was in the newspapers that players were taking pay cuts. And it's funny how they all were thought of as heroes then, too.
Yeah.
So-and-so took a pay cut because he knows the situation that we're in. And that none of that's wrong. They're just calling it something different now, restructured deals. But this was the other hot button topic that came up near the end of last hour. If Gary Bettman comes out and says, we could have saved more money by just shutting it down and not playing, but our owners wanted to play, it tells you why the CFL didn't play, right? Very clearly.
Yep.
It was all because of cost. And 2, and this brought up the comment from Jeff in Calgary, like, why am I falling for it? All these new contracts and signings and players opting in, is it all a ruse? Because I'm seeing coverage from people from news outlets that I trust, and there's very few, and don't take that as a slight, Canadian media outlets. It's It's the American media that I largely don't trust. But the sites that I see are projecting that we are maybe at best, halfway through this pandemic in terms of the economic harshness and lockdowns and restrictions. Halfway! It feels like we've been at this for a decade. Halfway. Saw a news report this morning from the Associated Press that the herd immunity that they're trying to garner through the vaccinations won't even happen in 2021. So is the CFL not trying to find a way to play without fans? Is that the deal? I brought up Jeff the Stampeders fan because he wrote in and he said, is the CFL not considering playing with limited capacity? Well, it looks to me like they're not.
I know it does. I would hope that they are, but I'd want to hear that. Look, here's what we're looking for. Yeah, vaccine's coming, and that's great, but we're not putting all our eggs in that basket, right? We're trying to play. And 2 years without football is not acceptable to us. That's what I want to hear, right? And we're trying. But this isn't the NFL, and our pockets aren't as deep, and, right? Fall on your sword a little bit. I think people will be sympathetic to that if you're honest and open and say, look, we want to play. This is unacceptable. But we're not the NFL, so we have to be creative. We're trying to be creative. The best thing is a vaccine. And here's what we're working on if it doesn't. And this might not work either. But at least we're trying and we're thinking about you. That's all you can ever ask for as a fan, but we're not even getting that. We're just getting secrecy and kind of quietness, and we're left to come up with our own conclusions and wonder, what are you doing when we're not watching?
What you're talking about is honesty and transparency, which quite frankly have never been the hallmarks of the Canadian Football League. So I'm not just talking about the leaders right now, but we're not getting silence. Every day we're getting new news of Willie Jefferson, a restructured deal, and Cody Fajardo, a new deal. It's all good news. So I was falling for it. That's all that I'm saying.
Well, we talked about that with the labels, right? It's gluten-free. Honey, I know it costs a little more, but this is better for you. It's gluten-free. It says it right here on the label. And it's like, maple syrup's always gluten-free. 100% pure maple syrup. It's always gluten-free. You're falling for a label, but that's the trendy thing, right? And restructured sounds better than pay cut, right? Relieving you of your duties sounds better, or not renewing a contract sounds a lot better than getting fired.
Those are the quick six show topics here in the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons, your home for the NFL. I'll jump into some viewer comments right now. Currently, Ray is watching in Toronto on Game Plus. Hi, Rod. I would not look to the USA for any examples. The USA is out of control in many ways. You can't dispute the numbers they're generating regarding the Rona. Wait 2 weeks for spikes in Alabama. Stay safe. That's all I wanted was the viewer's take. That's all that I asked. Ray also wants to know what your thoughts of Lamar Jackson's snub at the end of the game against your Titans was. Hang on to that, okay? We'll answer that later. There were some bonus points. Evander Kane files for bankruptcy. The San Jose Sharks forward, he's $26 to $28 million in debt. I said last hour that you can't fix stupid, and maybe that was harsh. What do you want us to say about a guy that's made, what have they said, $45 million in his career? Now we're learning there might have been some other issues involved, addiction issues, as it relates to gambling. So my first thought was, where's his agent? Where's his parents? Where's his people around him? And then I thought, he's a grown-ass man, and you have to own up to your own decisions. So it goes back to point A. Chase Claypool, gotta love this kid, of the Steelers, saying that the Cleveland Browns will get clapped by Kansas City this week. Is that a new term?
It's his term.
It's his term.
It is a term. You know,
it's just sour grapes.
Of course it is. This is what I said. You know, pre-game trash talk I love, post-game trash talk I hate. You know, one is fun, one is, and it can be whatever, but the second is just sour grapes, disrespectful, and bad taste. Post-game trash talk, always. And we want to do that when we lose.
Breaking news before we break. Thanks for everybody for pointing this out. And this from my TSN notification. The Winnipeg Jets lost goaltender Eric Comrie and defenseman Lucas Sabisa on waivers today. Comrie was awarded to the New Jersey Devils, while Sabisa was claimed by the Nashville Predators. The Sharks claimed Rudolph Balcers from the Ottawa Senators, and the Edmonton Oilers lost goalie Anton Forsberg to the Carolina Hurricanes. The remaining players among the 89 placed on waivers on Monday, including Montreal Canadiens veteran Corey Perry, all cleared. So there's some news from the NHL. Rod Black joins us next. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television in all 10 provinces across Canada, 31 states. Now daily on YouTube Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Updating and improving your air conditioning system does not need to be difficult. You can breathe easy with our 100% satisfaction guarantee, flexible financing options, and maintenance programs. We will be with you throughout the process from start to finish. Contact us today so we can help you breathe a little easier. 306-781-2090.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Oh, yeah, he's back. time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It is. And producer Clark tells me still no Rod Black in the queue, so we might be kicking it old school today, Dupes. Just you and me.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay.
Chewing the fat with the viewers. And that's always fun.
Oh, yeah. Plenty to chew on.
Sports update. The Raptors suffered their second straight one-point loss, falling on the road against the Portland Trailblazers 112-111 after C.J. McCollum hit a go-ahead jumper with 9.9 seconds to play in the game. McCollum finished with 30 points as Portland came from behind after trailing by as many as 13 points in the fourth. With a performance that was both surgical and explosive, number 1 Alabama won the college football playoff national championship 52-24 against number 3 Ohio State. Alabama went undefeated to become national champion for the 6th time in 12 years under Nick Saban.
Surgical and explosive. Yours or theirs? Your term or theirs?
I'm just reading what they wrote here.
It was very good.
I know.
It was very co-sell.
Well, I thought it would sound like something I might say.
That's why I asked.
Hang on.
In an effort that was surgical and explosive.
The timing of Kyrie Irving's return to the Brooklyn Nets remains unknown, with coach Steve Nash saying he had no update on the point guard's status. The Nets have listed Irving as out for their game tonight against Denver, which will be the 4th straight he misses for personal reasons. Nash said it's a private matter and has refused to discuss Irving's absence in detail. Oh, and one thing I did see Rod Black tweeting about last night was that Skate Canada announced that the 2021 Canadian Figure Skating Championships and Skate Canada Cup have been canceled due to the pandemic. The Canadian Championships, also the trial competition for the Worlds, which are scheduled for March in Stockholm, were set to run from February 8th to 14th in Vancouver. This sports update is, of course, proudly brought to you by the Tap Brew House and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. You can find them at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. And it was like Christmas here yesterday because the box showed up. The box.
It's amazing.
What are we getting? A box a month from G2G
it's
now?
About that.
It's feeding the entire staff here.
Whatever it is, they just know like exactly when we need a new shipment because it's here always like 3 days before we need them.
I'm happy that everybody's happy around here. I want to check the poll results today. Did I mention the poll earlier? What is your featured game this weekend in the National Football League divisional playoff round? The Los Angeles Rams at Green Bay Packers, Baltimore Ravens at Buffalo Bills, Cleveland Browns at Kansas City Chiefs, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. On Facebook, what are they saying? It's right in front of you?
Yeah, 37% Bucs and Saints, the juicy quarterback matchup, followed by Ravens-Bills. So
that's interesting. On Twitter, into the hundreds of votes cast, same story. Bucs, Saints, number 1. Ravens, Bills, number 2. Mine is Bucs, Saints. I'm a Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
And let's just go back for a second. Way back when all this started going down, the divorce between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, which I believe was pre-pandemic. I think I was in Mexico at the time. Remember when Tom put out the photo, the black and white photo of him?
Yep.
You couldn't tell if he was walking into Gillette Stadium or out of Gillette Stadium. Remember that prehistoric time? And then he left, and then he went to Tampa, and the question was who's going to have more wins. I believe we had a poll question on that, right? Back in the spring. Who would have more wins? Patriots under Bill Belichick or Buccaneers under Tom Brady? I don't remember what the result was. I darn sure know who I voted for. It was Tom Brady. But we had some Buccaneers players on, and that whole city just went crazy. Tampa. And now here they are. What'd they finish, 11-5?
Yeah.
Going on the road in back-to-back weeks in the playoffs. Listen, they're Super Bowl contenders because they're in the playoffs. And they've already won a round.
Yeah.
Can we just dial it back for a second and think of how this has played out?
I know.
This is exactly the way they wanted it to in Tampa Bay, but how often do things go the way that you want them to?
I know, and it was a big shift for Tom because you look at where they went and where they started, there was they didn't get going, and it was just a collection of stars. But then you start hearing more and more, and I was watching and listening to a report that it's so hot in Tampa that they couldn't put in the work that Tom's accustomed to in New England, where the temperatures don't get as high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the extra hours and hours and hours of drills and routes and throwing and, you know, running and catching and all those things that you couldn't put them all to put in the amount of work. It was more film study. So to get on the same page took longer in Tampa than it did in New England. And now that the weather's dropping a little bit, they've been allowed later in the year to put in more of that work. It's easier on the body. And now you're starting to see this team, you know, rise again. And this is a big test against a really, really good defense, one of the top defenses in the NFL in New Orleans. It'll be very interesting to see how they perform.
Combined age of the quarterbacks is 85.
Did you see Tom put out the grandpa pictures of the two of them?
We should have had that. Maybe, I think Clark's trying to get Rod Black on the air, but if you look at Tom Brady's Twitter, it's the age, what do you call it, face app?
Yeah.
Of Tom Brady and Drew Brees as old men.
They say every game that these two play in should be on the History Channel. I think that's hilarious. And that Tom's playing into it.
He's leaning into it, as you would say.
He's leaning into it, and I respect it.
Everybody thinks Tom Brady runs his own social media. Pretty sure he's reading the playbook, but he's got a good team that does.
Yes.
Well, Clark's asking if we break at the bottom of the hour, are we eligible to do that? Are the Game Plus people able to do that? Okay, so we will do that. I'll read a couple text messages here. Brady writes in from Saskatoon, Prairie Mobile text line. Hey, Rod, Devontae Smith was one heck of a performance last night. 250 yards-ish and a half before getting hurt. Raptors continue their slump. They can't finish late in the game. My NHL Northern Division rankings are 1 Leafs, 2 Habs, 3 Flames, 4 Jets, 5 Oilers, 6 Canucks, 7 Senators. Go Habs, from Brady. And regarding Doug Peterson being fired in Philly, actually from Leonard on all of our topics, texting in from the 536, he says, but the COVID death rate has gone up in the United States regarding the celebration in Tuscaloosa last night. And he says, so Corey, he got canned after winning a Grey Cup here with the Riders. That's Leonard. Yeah, it was 18 months for both John Gregory with the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Corey Chamberlain. Almost to the day they were fired after winning a Grey Cup. But that's how sports has changed. There's not a lot of long leashes now in pro sports, right?
What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately?
And a Super Bowl 3 years ago is not lately. That's ancient history. Apparently.
So there's a lot of toppings on the table. I feel like we're at a bonanza buffet. And they're all delicious.
The trough.
So Rod Black will join us after this break. The fellows at Game Plus in downtown Toronto says they're ready for a break. So stay tuned, everybody. The great Rod Black from TSN joins us next. You're watching on Game Plus TV. Live daily now on YouTube. And listen live for Sud's full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Sud's Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode number 398 of Canada's daytime sports talk show continues. As promised, we're going out on video chat. TSN's Rod Black joins us, a man whom I find infinitely entertaining on Twitter. I'll say, Happy New Year, Roderick. How are you, sir?
Hey, dude, you have got a lot of sponsors. You are so sponsored. You're like the human billboard. I love that. Look at that. I mean, first of all, congratulations. 398. May you have 398,000 more. Very proud of what you've been able to do. Your show's great. Obviously, unfortunately, this segment's not going to be very good. But it's nice to have all those sponsors. What kind of a day do you have in beautiful Saskatchewan?
Hey, what is it? It's about +2 or so?
It's going to be right around 0, yeah.
Yeah, but I saw a photo from southern Ontario the other day. Do you literally not have snow out there, you guys?
Take a look, man. I got snow.
Oh, you do?
I got snow there. Yeah. I got snow.
We're not the only ones
it's
then.
Over here right now. Where I live north of the city, so we got a lot of snow up here. We got this thing called the Simcoe Streamer or something. So we're out on I saw some pictures you had the other day on, I think, Facebook or Twitter machine or wherever, whatever it is you do. I saw some pictures of you outside. We had a chance the other day to do that too in a beautiful pond. And I'm sure, like you, get outside if you can. I know we have to be social distant, but get outside because there's nothing that feels more normal than getting outside and going for a skate in Canadian winter. It was awesome. So yeah, we've got snow. It's cold. It's winter. And oh, by the way, it's what it's day 398 of your show. What is it in terms of the COVID lockdown or meltdown here? This thing has to end soon. Please.
Feels like right around the same. I think we're over 300 now, Rod.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get one of those virtual pictures. You guys can't do that on this format. I was gonna have a little virtual picture of me on the beach, and I could pretend to be a Canadian politician. It would be really good, actually.
Oh, that's my commentary today. I'm so angry. My brother just texted me, great commentary. I'm so mad that all the sports people have sat on the sidelines, been respectful, observed the rules, and the people that are sending out the rules aren't respecting it. It'll be a while before I calm down on that.
Yeah, Rod, I don't mind. I think people need to get away. I don't mind when people get away if they do the quarantine and they go away, but they're not leaders in our community. When they're the people that are making the rules, so many of us have not traveled, have not been able to travel. So many. So how wouldn't it be nice if a nurse or a doctor could take a break and go away after what they've gone through? They can't right now. Why should somebody who is so entitled and then try to fake it and not be around? It doesn't make any sense to me. I remember going to the Olympics a few years ago, and I'm sure you've had John Shannon on the air. And I remember it was my first Olympics back in 1992. And he said, Roddy, we're going to go out this week. We've got 2 weeks to go out. I said, really? I said, well, I didn't plan on going out anyway. Because you know why? During the Olympics, we're not going out. And I know the Olympics aren't anything like this. But he said, like an athlete who goes to a championship, say one of those kids last night at the college championship. I'm sure their coach said the night before, you have every day in the rest of your life to party or go away or do something or go on a vacation. During this time, this is like war. You have to be here. And our leaders, some leaders haven't been here. So yeah, you should rant on that. I'm telling you, I was really pissed off hearing all of that. What that went on, and hey, I get a Rod's rant too because I'm Rod. That's nice. And I get Bronco plumbing. I need some plumbing down here. No, but it absolutely infuriated me when I heard that. And our leaders have to lead. I think our leaders have done a decent job. I thought they did a great job early on. I think we still need some more guidance and direction. We need help across Canada to control this virus. And, if it takes laws, if it takes lockdown, so what? Let's do it. Let's just get it done. Don't have rules for some and rules for other. There's my rant.
I know. And I'll just say this. I'm reading on news coverage today, and it's this cabinet minister who's resigned his spot in cabinet is saying, I will have no more comment on this. Whoa, that's not up to you, man. Wouldn't that be nice that you could just stop talking?
You won't have to have comment on it if you go away because you're not going to have a job anymore. Simple. If you're a leader and you're a respected leader, you should not be doing the things that these people have been doing. I don't care if you had a real estate deal down wherever it was, or you had stuff. Yes, I do believe for people who have loved ones who needed some medical help or assistance or something that was really an emergency, there is no reason in the world that anybody should be sitting on a beach, sipping a cocktail, while the rest of us are all at home, inside, and having to do what we have to do to control this. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, sorry.
Hey, it's all good. I don't have any problem with anybody going on the beach as long as you're not telling other people to stay home.
Or posting. Yeah, exactly. Anybody can do whatever they want. They can go down there, quarantine on the way back. Stay 6 feet away from me. I don't care, but whatever. I mean, it's different, and hey, it's affecting our sports world. It's really affecting our sports world in such a way. We talked before, last time I was with you, Rod, we talked about the NBA bubble, how successful it was. Well, now we're seeing when you're outside a bubble, it's not that successful. And you see the spread that's happening. Yesterday, I got terrible news that the Canadian Skating Championships, an event that I've loved through the years. I remember when it came through Saskatoon a few years ago. We had an event in Regina as well. I remember, skating fans across the country love the national championships, one of my favorites of the year. But these kids haven't been able to train. And so now that has been banged. That's got canceled. There's, they're not having it. It was supposed to be this week, and they moved it to February. Now they've absolutely canceled it. And probably rightfully so, because they cannot keep everyone safe.
Boy, nice segue there, buddy. You're a real pro. You've been doing this for a while. What did you think about? Here's one of my topics on the table. I was saying the video of the tens of thousands of people in Tuscaloosa cramming the streets last night after the Crimson Tide won. What did you think when you saw that? I assume you saw the video.
Tuscaloosa? Yeah. I'm not sure what's spreading more, COVID or stupidity. Really. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, but there are so many people that think this thing doesn't exist. I can tell you, Rod, you can tell everybody, I have people who live near me, they have this thing. I know people who have suffered from this thing. Everybody. We've got to be very careful. There's a reason we have health officials on every day. Contrary to what some politicians may think down in the States, it's real. So no, those kids should not. There'll be another, there'll be another spike or peak because of a super spread. Now, I don't mind having people in stands, or hopefully when the CFL gets up and running, let's have 10,000 people, but let's have 10,000 people in masks or a social distance. We're going to be wearing masks, by the way, for a while. If you go back to the last pandemic back in 1918, I remember when this all started, I went, what did sports do? So I went back and did some research. If you look at the pictures, watch some of the highlights of baseball and the pictures or even the film, people watching Babe Ruth, they're in masks. I mean, nobody's ever talked about that in history. They wore masks for a couple of years. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to, and it's not even so much the people around me. It's just to know that, you're wearing a mask, so they know they can wear a mask. I thought that was astounding last night, but there'll be a spike.
Well, actually, John Lynch said that when he was calling Rough Rider games in 1918, he was wearing a mask when he called the games.
Well, I was there too, so tell Johnny I was there too.
Yeah, you were in the next booth, as always.
Yeah, I was in the next booth. I was doing it for the terrestrial. There was no streaming at the time. We actually did just a fake thing. We did that whatever that was. But yeah, I don't know if anybody thought, Rod, 9 or 10 months ago that we'd be sitting here 9 or 10 months later still talking about. But I am so happy that we've had sports. I've kind of gotten used to the empty stadiums. I want to see them full again. But I'm so happy that we've had sports. It really has brought some sense, and I hate that word normalcy. It's brought some sense of relaxation and relief to the anxiety that goes with this thing.
Yeah. Entertainment and all the rest.
Yeah. It was that was great. I mean, the Raptor games have been phenomenal. Lately, they've been losing, but they've been down to the wire. The NFL weekend was incredible. I loved every minute of it as I was exercising on my couch. I've named my couch now. I should tell you that. I've named my couch.
What?
Peloton. I'm on the Peloton every day.
Somebody tweet that. Rod Black's couch name. I'm on the Peloton every day. Well, I have my bike beside my couch. Well, I watch SportsCenter every morning, and I bike for 45 to 60 minutes every morning watching SportsCenter. What's your TV on more, CTV Newsnet or TSN? Be honest.
So I get up really early, so it's on TSN. I've usually watched the SportsCenter or what have you at night. I also have a VPN, so I get to watch some stuff from the States. But then probably around 10, I'll turn on to CNN a little bit. Then I try to get all the news, even Fox. I'll try to gives you kind of balance. And then I'll turn to CTV News because that's kind of now where, we're going to get into the premiers talking across Canada. Quite often it gets a little long and boring, but it hasn't been boring lately. I find it quite fascinating. And you have to stay up on this stuff. If you don't stay up on this stuff, you could possibly be exposed to it. So, but and at night, sometimes I've been watching some of the Netflix and Crave. I really like Your Honor right now. I haven't been able to follow it as much as possible. I like that a lot. Have you watched that?
And I tried to find it with my wife last night. We don't have Crave. We just stepped into the latest decade and got Amazon Prime.
From Bell Media, I can get you a free subscription. It's only going to cost you $8.99 a month.
Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, I'm telling the guys.
It's a great show, though.
It's really good.
I've heard that.
Really good. I watch it. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. I agree. I'm about 4 episodes in.
Oh yeah, did you like Breaking Bad?
Loved it.
Like Bryan Cranston is destined to play this guy who has these penultimate or ultimate attacks of anxiety and tension and lies to everybody. That's what he is. It's a great. I loved it. And I want to watch the Tiger Woods one. That one was on the other night. I haven't watched that yet.
And Tiger King, you burned through that right in the first week.
I did. That was okay. I don't think I'd ever want to watch that again, though. I don't want to. What's that lady's name?
Carol Baskin.
The one that's not. So you murder your husband, and then you get to go on Dancing with the Stars. I love that. I mean, whatever that is.
She's going to be running for mayor of Tampa next. From our viewers, Jeff in Calgary says, Your Honor is awesome. He reminds me of Walter White. Dan Ukraina says the Tiger Woods documentary on Crave is tremendous. Have you seen, Rod, Virgin River on Netflix? It's fantastic.
No, my wife has watched it. She loves it. You know what she's into? Like, she starts and then I kind of catch up. Another one I heard is Yellowstone. I want to watch that one because I got a boy, Selfie. I'm going to see a lot of you, I hope, this summer when we get back to the CFL. I got a boy playing ball down in Montana. So just south, I want to get into that Yellowstone and what's the other one? Big Sky, because I really haven't spent much time in Montana. But I do want to, once the borders open up, if they ever open up in 2026, get down to that area. But hopefully that'll happen. But there's so many good, I was going to tell you, there's so many good Netflix shows. I think it's not a conspiracy theory. I think Netflix started this virus.
I've blogged it, but trust me, I know.
Amazon, Netflix, Walmart,
Costco.
Here it's called the LCBO. When I was in Manitoba, it was called the Liquor Mart. What's it called there? What's it in Saskatchewan?
You're 6 years sober here. I don't know. I don't go to what do they go? Saskatchewan Liquor Board.
You go to the
LCB.
LCB?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't been in it in 6 years, so I wouldn't know, Rod.
Well, you would have known that they also started the virus. So
exactly.
I make jokes about it because I'll tell you what, I still can't believe that I think everybody you've seen is wearing a mask or social distant, like everywhere, even on the streets, they're wearing them everywhere you go. And yet this thing is still, the numbers are incredible. It probably has to do with testing. But at some time, I want Kiefer Sutherland to show up and end this thing. I mean, I'm sure this is like a 24 episode.
Oh, I thought you meant the Designated Survivor, which is another tremendous Netflix
show.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, like they're ready to put it in the water stream or whatever, the terrorists, right? Chemical warfare. Yeah, Kiefer would save the day.
Hey, how about this one too, you guys? I mean, I don't think I have ever gone a whole year without every single day saying this. I never thought I'd say this. Every single day you go, I never thought I'd say this. I never thought I'd say this, but they stormed the Capitol Hill. I never thought I'd say this, but
I know. Well, he and I just said we thought 2020 was crazy. 2021's probably got any crazier. But listen, you triggered my thought process with the Montana thing because we spent a lot of time down there. I was raised down near the Montana border. Where in Montana is your son playing ball?
Dawson Community College in Glendive.
Oh, beautiful!
So he plays there.
Straight south.
Playing in Ohio.
Straight. Yeah. It's like.
Yeah, so at Christmas time, I normally would have. I was trying to get him back through. Logically, you would fly to Regina, and then I would drive him down through the border. But I couldn't, obviously. And if I did, I'd have to take the quarantine coming back, and I didn't want to do that because politicians were going all over the world. But I wanted to get him to school, so I think he had to go. He flew Toronto, Atlanta. Minnesota, Bismarck, and then they drove. His buddies picked him up, and they drove to Glendale. But there are a lot of Canadians playing at that school. They've got, and they're playing. By the way, again, they don't seem to have the same kind of restrictions or rules that we have.
The science is different, apparently. But for our viewers, if I may, where Rod's talking about, you go where we are right here. You go straight down, and you're in Glendive. And
what's it, about 4 hours? Right?
Yeah, not even on one tank of gas, probably 3 at the most.
I tried to get our buddy Larry Mueller to drive me down there one time back, but Larry's gone rogue on everybody. I think he's just like, he phones you when he wants to, and
that's Ron Lancaster's son-in-law, folks. And there's a photo of him up in the office at the border, so that's why
he is the unofficial mayor of Regina and the unofficial premier of Saskatchewan. I love the guy, though.
He's the best. He's the best. We wouldn't poke
and
crap out of him.
His son, Mark, who was a great Ram quarterback, I predict will be a CFL head coach and will be a terrific CFL head coach down the road.
He'll be whatever he wants to be. That's my addendum to that. GM, coach, whatever. We're out of time. They're telling me, Rod. As always, next time we'll talk sports. Thank you for the visit, my man.
COVID hug, man.
COVID hug. Bring it in. Bring it in. Thanks, Rod. Stay safe.
Yeah. Take care, boys.
There you go. The best, Rod Black, joining us from TSN. And we'll be right back with Viewer Takeover, everybody. You're watching on Game Plus Television, live daily on YouTube, and listen live at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You need to adapt and you need to move forward. You can't be stuck in 1920. Direct West is on the top of their game. They know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when you work with Direct West, things are good. There's no going backwards, they're moving forward. My business would not be where it is today without the help of Direct West to help me with my website and my Facebook and all my online presence. I've worked with Direct West for about 10 years, and it's been a great experience.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-14.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
This has been a fantastic show today. I'm not sure that we accomplished anything, but that's okay.
Yeah.
This is Viewer Takeover. And Clay Bombing, he is a CFL fan. I believe he's in Brandon. DM'd me this tweet from CFL News that says it's a... Gray McKenzie reported this. I don't know who Gray McKenzie is, but Canada has purchased an additional 20 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, with the Pfizer order up to 40 million doses total. Justin Trudeau says that Canada will have enough supply to vaccinate 20 million people by June of 2021. To me, I don't, again, know Gray McKenzie. All these projections by the Prime Minister or any politicians or health people, to me, that's posturing to make the Prime Minister look good. I think it was posted to the CFL Twitter news account to make people think, ooh, we're going to have everybody vaccinated, or over half the country by June of 2021. I don't believe that we will. So it's a race to put out the most positive news, I guess. Is that what we've discerned today?
The health professionals haven't been vaccinated yet, all of them.
It's an absolute gong show as to who's getting vaccinated and when. Inmates health professionals, seniors, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no plan.
No, and you and I aren't even in the crystal ball anywhere in terms of getting vaccinated. It's a long way off.
Oh, so Jeff, the Stamps fan, dude, we finally agree with each other. Me and Jeff, the Stamps fan. He says,
ring the bell.
That sounds like BS on Trudeau's part to me. I smelled it too. Who dealt it? Ronald Jacobson in North Dakota says 2021, hold my beer. See what I'm saying? From viewer Greg Klevgard. Justin is Justin. Lots of talk. Not a lot of substance there.
I know.
You know, and it's just the dam broke today. The dam broke. We try to stick to sports. I'm blaming Rod Black. But really, I started it with a video of the people in Tuscaloosa going through the, you know, celebrating the Crimson Tides championship, just the tens of thousands of people, and that broke the dam of the COVID doc today. And how can it not? How can we ignore it every day for 2 hours or 100% of our show when it continues to run our lives?
I know. It just becomes part of it, and, you know, we try and stay away, but eventually it just overtakes it. You can't. You know, but the 2021 thing, the memes that I'm seeing now most frequently are, you know, this 2-week trial, 2021, I'm out, cancel my subscription, I'll try again next year, you know, and it's, hey, it is what it is, but it's nothing if not interesting, that's for sure.
From Brent Kuhlman, another great show, guys, but I have to run so I can help pay for our politicians' beach vacations. Oh, people aren't forgetting this anytime soon. And I waited like a week to make it my commentary on Cat Country 98 FM. And everybody's like, yeah, you go. Like, people aren't forgetting it. It's going to be top of mind for quite some time. I'm very excited about tomorrow's show. Nice work, Clark. We've got Adrian Dater. He's a Colorado Avalanche reporter. Who's he with? Newspaper? Oh, The Athletic? He's a writer. I believe he requested a phone interview. They're kind of shy of cameras, the writers,
they tend
for the most part.
They tend to be.
And Jim Lang, Canada's foremost NFL expert. Write this down. He's the OG of Canadian NFL insiders.
Yeah.
Jim Lang. So I said to Clark, we got to get Jimbo. I don't want him to think we forgot about him. Thanks today to Rod Black, Peter Labardius, Brian Snow. Everybody will see you in 24 hours on YouTube Live and right here on Game Plus. See you, Moose.
See ya.
Let's go beat up DuPont.